So clay can be found in the earth. It can be dug and still used to make art. Some people do dig raw materials and make their own clay, but I choose to buy my clay from different suppliers. One that I get clay from in Kansas, as well as one that I get clay from in Arkansas. There are different types of clay for different uses. They are fired at different temperatures based on what the clay is made out of. Some clay is more plastic than other types of clay. Some clay is stronger than other types of clay based on what is in it and how much grog is in it. So what I have setting in front of me are several different types of clay from different suppliers. This one right here is Laguna clay, and I'm excited to try it. It's the first time I bought it. It was a red clay, like a terracotta. This is a stoneware clay that has a lot of grog in it that's great for hand building. And then here is a bag of clay that is porcelain. So when it fires, it's going to be super bright white. So all of these clays are different, and they have different amounts of strength. They are fired at different temperatures. And while working with different types of clay, it's important that you clean your tools really well before switching to a different clay body, as well as anything that clay has touched, because you don't want them to contaminate each other. So what I have sitting in front of me are a couple of boxes that the clay comes in. So this is Raku clay. They come in a 50-pound box, and then there are two 25-pound sacks of clay in the box, and then this is Laguna clay. So this is how it comes when you order it. The clay is stored inside a plastic bag inside a box. And if you let it sit for too long, then you can't really use it without adding water in it again. Different types of clay that are low fire clay. That means that they are fired at a lower temperature and they're more brittle. And usually pieces that have glaze on the bottom of them have been created with low fire clays and glazes. And then there's mid-range clays, and then there's high fire like stoneware clay. And the feet or the bottom of the works do not have glaze on them because they'll melt and stick to the kiln shelves. Clay has been around for thousands and thousands of years, and what clay is actually made up from when it is found in the earth is decomposed materials of trees and leaves, and there's organic material mixed in with the clay, as well as different minerals. And so clay can be found naturally throughout the US. I prefer to buy my own clay than dig it because it has the same consistency throughout. Because the type of ceramics that I make currently is wheel thrown ceramics, and when you are wheel throwing things, you really want your clay to be good, even consistency, so that when you're working with it on the wheel, you don't run into different textures or organic material inside the clay that could cut your hands. And so that's why I buy my clay, because it's been run through a process to get the air out and to have the same consistency throughout the clay body. So the expectations of what happens when you fire it is more reliable as far as how much it shrinks, what temperature it fires at, and what it does when you cook it. So all of these clays here, I'll bisque fire them to 1850 degrees or about that. And then after they come out of the kiln, so here's a couple of bisque test tiles that I had just sitting around to test some glaze. So after the clay, this type of clay right here is fired, it will come out looking kind of pink or beige. This one will come out fairly bright white, and this one will come out reddish in color. So bisque fire clay is very porous, and it's meant to be that way so that when it's painted with glaze or liquid glass particles, that it's painted with glaze and then it's fired again, and I fire mine to over 2000 degrees. That glaze will then really coat the clay well and stick. So that's the basics of where you get clay, why there's different types of clay and different colors, and now we'll start making some things.